moving to oneness. Nourishing curiosity. Embracing differences. Becoming one.
Today is a beautiful day, even though the wind is gushing outside and playing with the raindrops as they're coming down onto the ground here in Germany. I want to celebrate with you my 1-year anniversary of hosting. Maybe that's a little longer, but for sure for posting my podcast on all podcast platforms. So I want to thank you, especially for driving me, for listening to my podcast. And at the beginning there was Denise Hansard with me, right? She did a step out, as you noticed. She had personal reasons and other ways to go. And this is so important that we even celebrate that. Not even, the word doesn't fit, but that we celebrate each moment that we walk with someone together on a path. Sometimes you walk alone and there comes someone, you get to know them, they give you ideas, you exchange your favorite topics. Maybe you walk for them for a few hours, a few minutes, if it's on a longer journey for days or years, right? And then they take their path. And this is a beautiful way because it stimulates you, it stimulates me, it stimulates us, right? We get new ideas when two people or more come together. Newness is created. So, and for that, I want to thank Denise with all my heart, and she's also there. You'll see her in the Facebook community group, right? Moving to Oneness. Do join if you feel like it, and it's a good place where you can give me feedback, right? Because now I'm a year online. You can hear and listen to the shows, and also don't forget you can watch the shows on the YouTube channel, which has the same name, Moving to Oneness, if you want to, especially those where I interview interesting people around the world that have oneness on their mind, or introduce it into their work, or it's part of their lifestyle. Yeah, working with humans, with animals, with the landscape, and the list goes on. And there again, as I'm celebrating with you, I invite you to provide what you love to hear to me, right? What would you like to speak about, maybe? Also for that, connect with me. And alone, it's nice. I bring you all of me for all of you. But I'm also a person that loves to be and party and play and have fun with others. So do come on my show as a guided guest, right? Where you can ask me any questions, receive healing, receive a song, a topic you only want to listen to, and I'll do it as a solo show, and maybe some sounds come for that topic or healing. Or maybe you have a book or fascinating work you want to share with the world, so bring that on to me too. God, we got 53 episodes, so thank you very much. Especially, Sunday I post, but so often I use the Sunday, especially on the solo shows, to bring the newest energy right into the show, the ideas of the moment. It's so important for me, and you've noticed it also in my conversation with other beautiful beings, to keep them close to the release of the episode or of a certain time when we're interviewing that is important to those energies, so you get the most out of it, like an injection of energy, of wisdom, of sounds, of inspiration, of motivation. Yeah, so this is something that always has been important to me, and I wanted to share that with you. Not all of you know that about me. Yeah, this podcast, Moving to Oneness, is being listened to, 51 countries now. So again, thank you around the globe. The US is my number 1. Number 2 is India, Germany number 3, New Zealand following, with Spain and Sweden. The list goes on, and I'm surprised suddenly where I see a spot on my world map or something someone is listening to, and we're on all continents, and I'm keeping out my eyes more and more from people around the world to bring on for you to listen to. So how can you integrate that into your life, right? So one thing that I think in this year was important, do what you love to do. I've been speaking about that a lot, but this podcast is something that is a beautiful example of it. After 6 years of a radio show, I wanted more interaction. I wanted to hear from you. I wanted to integrate what you want, right? And I wanted it to spread out even further into the world. And my goal is still to reach almost every country by next year on this globe. Because then we really can build a community. Then we really can create unity. We can create this oneness. Then if we humans are connected from that point, right, we also bring our animal world, our animal kingdom to it, and nature wherever we are. That means then all different ecosystems will feel this information and the wisdom that you carry, that I carry, and that comes together in this podcast. So even if you listen to it on your computer, right, these sounds go out into the world. If you have it in your earplugs when you go jogging, for example, you bring the wisdom, the tones right through your body into the ground. Maybe you have suddenly a different rhythm, right? Our environment soaks that in and understands it. And this is important. I remember one listener wrote me that when she would listen to the singing, suddenly there would be more birds singing around her. And I thought, oh my God, oh look, it's worth sharing my gift, my talents with you, right? Because it goes so much further than we sometimes think. Often we limit it by ourselves, by others. Maybe we don't believe in ourselves. I sometimes have not believed in myself. Still happens. Maybe I don't know about you. But right, there's always this little hesitation, or when you want to throw it away and say, no, not anymore. But somehow what is the nice thing, because I would bring out a podcast each Sunday. There is something within me that even 11 o'clock at night started me to record and to bring it out. So that means there was always an importance. I could feel a inner importance, a bodily, right? When our body and our mind is in unison and feel. So what do you have also in your life where you feel this working together between your spirit, your mind, and your body, where your body moves you and with others, right? Because again, I didn't do this by myself. I had a beautiful friend, Denise, start this whole idea with me. Let me think through the topic, right? We wanted to do once only a Facebook page, and then because what she thought and I thought, it turned into a podcast, and a painting and then the right music, right? And it built together. I don't know if I would have done alone in that speed, but because she was there, it was a playing together, it evolved. Very comfortable in a beautiful, harmonious, and balanced way. Yeah? So thank you, Denise, if you're listening. My kisses go out to you. And my heart anyway, you know that. And also the best for your walk now, wherever you're walking now, where you're going and where you know you are needed, right? This is the other thing for everyone. You know where you're needed. As I know where I'm needed, we know we're needed. So don't hesitate if you don't have to. Or if you feel already the incline to create something, please go ahead and do something. Maybe it's also a podcast or a radio show or a YouTube show, or you go on stage, or you cook, or you paint, or you go back to school or college, or whatever it is. Do it and have fun with it. So I also, from my heart, a big, big, big thank you. And the other topic I wanted to speak about is yesterday I was supposed to be in Berlin and support a friend for a big, huge water ritual, but because of my family life and some sicknesses and a death, I didn't go. And I want to bring some of the energy, though, into this weekend. She picked a beautiful day. We have a lot of rain, and exactly on that rain day yesterday, it didn't rain in Berlin and many places else. It was the full moon. We call it also a blue moon or sturgeon moon, and the list goes on. This moon has a lot of, names. So maybe you know a few others. Do share them with us. In a way, why this water ritual? So I think the basic idea or incentive was, first of all, to free the water. And as a landscape architect, right, I do see where we do restrict water too much in its path. We dig it in, and everyone has seen and heard what is happening in Germany, where there's too much rain, a lot of flooding. But on the other side, in some countries, what we're doing with the water, channeling it, putting it into pipes, covering too much areas with concrete, removing native plants, planting too many exotics. I don't want to blame too much, but it does belong all together, right? And being a little slow in creating new ideas of what can be done. And sometimes people, grassroots, have great ideas and they get a little stuck because the government doesn't move quick enough, or because they don't understand, and there are too much layers of restriction, too many bosses on top of other bosses. Things don't get done as much. But there was also an underlying topic, which I also love, that my friend Margaret, and see, I have to take a big inhale, is the one about shame. And even there, if you think they go hand in hand, that's what the energies she got, the wisdom she got, she needed to talk about. The shame to show ourselves fully, our body. For example, being naked. In Germany, we have luckily the blue rider movement, or you're right, that where over 100 years ago we wanted a free body culture, FKK, I think that's how it's called, so we can be ourselves. And if you think back many 100 years, our body is a beautiful piece of art. It's magnificent, and more we have to hide it. And also there, these topics really need a whole new show. But I just want to get into to sing a song for the water and bring that up. All right, and you know, when the word shame comes, there's a huge, big topic. So in Germany, you have the pubic hair, I don't know what country in one language you're using and what it means, but pubic hair in English, you're lucky it is very Latin. Yeah, it just describes that it's the hair that grows in the pubic area, axil hair, maybe if you want to put it there. But we Germans, we use in a way Schamhaar, so that means it's shame. So you have to shame yourself for this area of your body, but it's so beautiful. It's because that's an area of body of pleasure. It's a very sensitive, it's a power center, right? Many healers use that area, whole topics where it wants to be silenced. Again, fantastic topic for next year, right? The second year of moving to oneness. I will get a few people on for you for these topics. And I always say, let's change that name. But how? It's going to be a movement of me. I have an idea of calling it charme, like the French word charm, right? It's a whole idea. Then it brings out a more sensuality. And we should be a sensual being as much as a plant or an animal, right? They walk. And if you want to be fully you, you have to have this sensuality. And so back to the water also has this fluidity, right, in its body. Unless we come as a human being and cut off the interaction, the interplay it has with other plants, stones, earth, wood, rock, fish, algae, insects, birds. The list goes on, right? Everything of this interactive, very fluid, very intense relationship with so many different beings, the estuaries. In Georgia, when I lived in Georgia, right? If you go to the coastal areas, the coastal plains, the Bracken areas, they're full of life. And they produce so much energy for the world, and they're becoming less. And so we have these here around the world, wherever water and land comes together, and maybe sweet water runs into the oceans, or at rivers, in the woods. This interactiveness, right? And where does the water come out of for us to drink? Very few places are still open enough so you can drink directly out of the earth, or lakes clean enough that you have drinking water around the world. Here in Germany, you're going to use it here, an example, right? The church is built onto many of our crystalline springs. That's the word I was looking to know. The water, where the water comes out of the earth, and we can go and fill up our mugs, our containers with water, right? So we can drink it. So even there, control is taken by others who the water may be brought to, or who is allowed to drink from it, or only a few people, it shouldn't be paid for, and the whole thing, right? But in a way, really free the water. And can you also free that water within your body? That's something I would love to talk about. That it flows, that you're expanded enough, that the water, the fluid within your body can flow. Do you drink enough water? How does your water taste? Oh, again, this is going to be a huge topic this year, I think, right? How does it taste like? Are you often enough in water, in the shower, in a bathtub, in the ocean? If you live in dry areas like the Sahara, or in very cold areas, yeah, right, where you have ice, but even there is humidity. And do the plants that thrive there in those microclimates or macroclimates, do they get enough water? Do we plant ways that are sustainable for the regions? As I was talking recently, very few insects still find plants that are for them, because the plant material is not so regional anymore, or too vast, and not wild enough. So the wildness, so I would love the wildness of the water to come back so it can roam free, the wildness of you to come back so you can move, and not just your body, but wherever you want to move and roam to. And the same as with the buffalo, so they can roam the land, and the animal and the horses, right? They're also, we are so constrained. Animals are so constrained. The water is so constrained. So the energies of unconstraining, of taking away boundaries, borders, edges, so it can be again so fluid that everything learns again to be more fluid, to interact with each other, to learn about each other more, to be open for each other, to respect each other, to laugh with each other, to play with each other, to create with each other. This is it. This is it. This was fun. This was fun. Did it create width? Thank you, B. It created width, it created expansion, speed, and you could feel everything could go and move into anything at once. And this interplay of getting to know each other and meeting and taking in. How wonderful, how wonderful. And then going on again and going on and faster and speed. So thank you everyone. Thank you for being there, that you're here for me, that I can play with you, that I can be who I am, and you embrace me with such love and light, and it feels wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So enjoy this next year that we're going to have together, as I have enjoyed this recent year with you. And think about the water, think about you and your work's life and everything that exists out there, to play, to be flexible, to be movable, and become free, and see where you can remove yourself. Something you've constructed, some rigidity, some where you tightened yourself in, and where maybe you did something with the world outdoors, with others, or with nature. Yeah, take a look and kiss a plant for me. I'm Meilin Ehlke, your host of the Moving to Oneness podcast. I wish you best. Send you.